an event, we always say CDC requirements are being enforced, and including wearing a mask that covers the nose and mouth and maintaining social distancing.
Mm-hmm.
If people can't live with that, then they don't live with it. That's their privilege or pleasure or whatever. I'm putting this out on YouTube right now. Let's, okay, there it is. It's live on YouTube. And
when do you think they're going to open Torah study and wisdom?
That Torah study is going to be, these are tentative, David, so don't hold me to it. Torah study is going to be the Saturday the 17th, if I have the date correct. Wisdom, we don't have a date on that yet.
Okay. Well, that's when I want to go.
I understand that. And they're going to be about, it's limited attendance when there's a B'nai Mitzvah going on. Well, all the time there's limited attendance, which we've said is about 50. The B'nai Mitzvah, I think we've said, are limited to a certain quantity, and the balance are going to be filled in with congregants on a reservation system that you can only reserve. Oh, hi, Edwina.
Hey, sir, how you doing?
Fine thing. In fact, I know Mary Ellen's on. I'm making you a co-host. I thought I was. Hold on. Oh, you have my, oh, there, you changed your name. Okay. At the moment, maybe you have it. Hold on. Anyway, the reservation system, you'll receive information about that also.
Have to make reservations for Torah study?
You have to make reservations. Yeah, there, maybe, David, because there's limited capacity that we can have in there. I don't know the answer to that yet.
Well, the block holds an awful lot of people.
Yeah, but it's not a matter of what it holds. We have to have the ability for those in the social hall to communicate with those not in the social hall, because there'll be a lot of people that won't want to attend. And so we are limited as to how many we can get in a set lineup of chairs around tables, and having availability to see the screen where those that are on Zoom can be seen, and those people on Zoom to be able to see whoever's talking. Edwina, you're a co-host also, so do your thing if you're doing your thing, please.
Hello, Jane. How are you?
I'm great, Sheila. I hope you are. Sandy, was that a good explanation? Or
oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
okay. David,
I'm
do you understand what I said?
if you're doing one.
Did a very good job.
Okay, as long as it's understood.
It was.
Hey David, don't give him the swell head. Don't tell him how good his job is.
I cannot I cannot have a swelled head because already I have trouble getting my head in my hats. Having a 7 3/4 head is not an easy one to put a hat on. Hello, Cantor.
Hi,
Welcome.
Cantor. Welcome. Hello.
We were just talking about Torah study, and I said there's not a firm date yet, but it looks like the 17th, but there'll be a reservation system for that and for attending services afterwards. And David was asking about wisdom. I said there's no date on that yet. We have to get that set up. So, it's a step at a time, and we're getting there.
Hi, Canterbury.
How's everybody doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Hi, Edwina. Ariel, somewhere.
How's Blake doing? Is he all ready?
He's not all ready. He's partially ready.
Oh, that's good.
He still has 3 weeks.
Well, that figures. Probably the week before.
Can I make this louder?
just because you're a cantor doesn't mean he's not a teenager.
That's exactly, that is exactly right.
The majority of us are still teenagers, Sandy. Don't.
Yeah, right.
He has his Torah's done, and we're just kind of pulling up the rear with the other stuff that we had to finish up. So we'll get there.
Welcome, Bob Weston.
Hey, Bob.
Good
Welcome, Bob.
evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Edwina? Edwina? How are you doing?
I'm okay for the moment.
Okay, well, Mary Ellen's there if you need help.
Okay.
Hello, Bob.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Susan.
Hello, Rabbi. Welcome.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Rabbi.
All
How
right.
y'all doing?
How are you?
Yeah.
Everybody good?
Hello,
Yeah.
Shabbat Shalom.
Yeah.
How are you doing, Rabbi Address?
Never better.
Good.
The Phillies won their opener.
One thing you must know, you do not anger the baseball gods. Is it nice and warm there?
Yeah, it's beautiful,
No,
Rabbi.
no.
Oh,
It's
It's
cold.
going into the 20s tonight here.
No, I think it's cold. Yeah.
Well, it is currently 54 here,
Oh,
It's
maybe 40 tonight.
and it's
40s
going
tonight,
down
yeah.
to 48 about.
well, it's going to,
Floridian, that's cold.
it's going to be 28 here
Ooh.
Oh,
tonight.
I'm wrong. It's going down to 46.
Oh,
But on Sunday, it's going to be in the 70s.
The sun is out brightly now, too.
Nice and
And
bright.
Wednesday, it's going to be in the 80s.
I love that.
good, because my kids are going to our apartment. They're on a plane now.
Mm.
Oh.
Cantor Barry. Okay, so did you get my email about? Okay, so we go, as they say in the trade, we go with the flow.
I'm so good at that.
Michael, welcome.
It was nice to be here.
Michael.
Michael, what's happening?
Oh, the same old, same old.
No, as long as you're healthy. Now, who is Edwina? I only see a forehead.
Edwina is our receptionist and smiling, happy person that just lifts the spirit of the office every moment she's there.
Edwina, do you have a rest of your face? Because the only thing I see is your
Oh.
forehead.
Sorry, my camera was tilted up towards the ceiling.
Oh,
Sorry
there
about
you are. Okay, okay.
Sorry.
That's better.
All right, don't kill yourself. Don't kill yourself. Now,
that.
perhaps
Sorry,
perhaps a different. I guess,
I'm
Edwina.
going home.
I'm sorry, I asked already. This is already like.
Sorry, Rabbi.
No. That's perfectly okay.
I'm technologically challenged sometimes.
Sometime you should come with, be here with me, because I don't even know what I'm doing. So
Ruthie? Hi, Michael. Hey, hello, Michael.
Ruth, where are
Hey,
you? It
Ruthie.
looks like
Hi, Dad.
So this
Hi,
is
Dad.
my
Hi,
library.
Ruthie.
oh wow, very cool.
Isn't that very nice? Yeah.
Looks like a B&B. All right, are you should move in there. All right, well, the sun is shining and everybody's happy, and you can almost have a hamburger tomorrow night, and
Almost.
So are we switching to the old service today?
what old service?
Because we changed the avot v'imahot and the gevurot.
Oh, that you threw me.
We're
You said the
doing-
entire service. I
We're
mean,
doing the switch tomorrow. We're
Oh,
gonna
you
switch.
switch at the end of Pesach?
yes.
Oh, okay.
So we'll go to Tal tomorrow, and then I am hoping to have a different service for us, but we'll see how that goes.
You mean talking about Shabbos, oh,
For Friday nights.
oh, don't surprise me. Don't surprise me.
And
No,
next
no,
week,
no.
we actually get to
Rabbi,
do-
look what I got this week.
Is that the
Rabbi
survivor?
address.
Oh, did you get the Survivor Sagata?
I did. I went online and ordered it. It came today.
Wow, very good.
Yeah.
Do you know in our gift shop we had a Holocaust of Haggadah?
It even has, I think that it's unusual. It has a letter from a Rabbi Saul Tauster from Congregation Kahalath Israel. It's dated November 10th, 2001. So, yeah.
All right, that's very good. I have 2 copies of that. Neither one of them came with a letter. Came
This
with a
one
bill.
came with a letter.
Well, mine came with a bill, so evidently you live better than I do.
Hi, Linda. Shabbat shalom, Linda.
All right.
Linda. Hi, Felice.
Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Hey,
Shalom.
I see you. Shabbat shalom, Felice.
Thank you.
Shabbat shalom, Felice.
Thank you. Shabbat shalom to you, lovely people.
Shabbat
shalom,
everybody.
Hi, Janie.
Hi, y'all.
Wow.
Oh, Janie.
Hi, Sheila.
What you doing?
I'm
1980.
Charlie, is Toronto cut, is it, they're in quarantine now?
Is there what?
Is quarantine in Toronto right now?
Yeah, sort of. The premier said we're going to go into lockdown at 12:01 tomorrow.
Wow.
So at midnight.
Wow.
Wow. Well, everyone, if you remember my sweet friend who was my next door neighbor, Joe, who came to our service and then he moved, he is sick with COVID. So I hope you'll keep him in the Misha Baruch. His name, I think, yeah, isn't that something I just found out today? So, yeah, he was so lovely the way he caught on to all of our prayers and traditions and just loved it. So thank you to everybody for what you did for him.
My brother was in the hospital with COVID, but he came home, I think Wednesday.
Oh, good. Oh.
Church near Detroit had a problem. How in heaven's name was he going to sprinkle holy water on people's Easter baskets?
When no one knows, and
There's mute. On the very end.
whoever's listening to the Easter broadcast, you probably are in the wrong pew. We appreciate the interfaith aspect, but if you're worried about your holy water, you're really in the wrong pew.
Rabbi address, that is so funny.
That was the news.
You have different news in Jacksonville than we do in Philadelphia.
We're at my mom's house.
My holy water is coming in the door from Starbucks right now.
Mary Ellen.
Hi.
We had our Passover sponge cake.
Karen.
Hi. You did? Well,
Karen.
hi, Karen. The red looks so pretty.
Oh, thank you. I was cold today.
Oh, it was so cold in the house today.
Yeah,
My house is set at 67.
Ooh. Yeah, that's chill.
cold.
Yes.
it'll snow at 67.
In Jacksonville, it does.
I think Cece used to listen on that other one.
Hey, Marilyn.
The other one, maybe big.
This is fine.
Oh, cold weather is. Santa helps you running a little bit.
I think you're right.
I
do.
Hey, Mara.
Tom and I are here.
Well,
he's over here.
Hello. And you got the computer view?
Jackie. Hi, Jackie. Shabbat shalom, Jackie.
I need this over here.
Say hi, Tom.
Hello.
See, that's him over there. That's my dog, Leo.
Hi, Leo.
Hi, Leo.
Jenny Vick.
That's the rabbi.
How is your brisket?
Looks like.
Oh, it was wonderful, wonderful. I have to do it all over again.
Oh, good. Okay.
It's a beautiful recipe. Thanks for asking.
Well, no, because I just had the last of the brisket from Seder here tonight for dinner, so
Ah,
That was.
it was delicious. My wife said one of her better
Hi, Ron. Hi, Barbara.
Hi, Cheryl.
How are
Where
you
the candles
doing, Barbara?
Harry, are you doing candles?
What did I?
Okay.
I
I
just.
see. Hello,
Rabbi,
Bunny
will
and
somebody
Jackie.
send was that your recipe? I would love that recipe, whoever sent it to whomever, that brisket recipe. Go ahead.
Which
Your
one?
5-minute warning, your 5-minute warning. If you need to go
need
get
Janie.
coffee or dinner or wine or vodka or whatever, you can do it now.
This is
Vodka sounds like a good idea.
I was thinking that, Dan.
Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom, Alan.
Shalom.
matches.
Hi, Alan. Shabbat shalom, Alan.
Shabbat shalom.
Yeah, you're right, because it's potato vodka.
You know how I got it?
You don't have potato
Janie, I see you up there in the corner. How are you doing?
Go to your library. Put it on your library.
Oh, me?
Janie,
That's one of the licorice you can
in
have.
the corner.
Huh?
That's what is vodka cooked for Passover?
Cheryl, are you talking to
Rabbi.
me? I'm not sure.
Yes, yes.
Thank
uh-huh.
you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Is
Hi,
vodka
Cheryl. I'm
kosher
good.
for
I hope
Passover?
you are.
Okay, yes, good, thank you. Uh-huh.
Good.
Rabbi.
Good.
Hi, Canterbury.
Hello, Jenny May. Rabbi address.
Yo,
Is vodka kosher for Passover?
whoever's speaking, I can't hear you.
Is vodka kosher for Passover?
There is a
If it's
kosher
vodka-
vodka, but I wouldn't recommend it.
What's not to be kosher?
Wait a minute. Ask my wife, who's the vodka expert.
It
sounds like you tried it.
Kosher for Passover in this house.
Shame.
I spent
Don't
almost 50
panic, it's
years
native vodka.
in that business, and vodka is a big hoax. People pay $50 for a bottle of vodka, and
I
as
think
far as I'm
this-
concerned, they're getting ripped off.
What about I know somebody pays $60 for a bottle of vodka.
Good, he's getting ripped off more.
Depends, is it this big or this big? I don't think I've ever.
Alan, was that your business?
Yes.
So do you like, what's their opinion of Grey Goose vodka? Is it very good?
Oh, it's absolutely worth $50 a bottle.
You just made my wife's year.
It's just coincidentally the original importer of that
Look how everybody quiet
is my son's boss.
Oh, okay.
And my son has been in the business for 35 years, and his son has been in the business for 15 years.
Wow.
So now when I get to Jacksonville, I know who to go to.
I've got nothing here. I'm long gone.
I don't like Grey Goose at all. I don't like Grey Goose.
What
But
do you do with it?
But my daughter-in-law's uncle makes vodka for the family.
Oh, yeah.
So
Listen, if you want a good time with vodka, when I was in Moscow in the 80s, smuggling things into refuseniks, and I was riding the subway system in Moscow.
Which I think what my dad got.
I never saw so many people drunk on vodka it's like water over there.
Wow.
That's what it is.
Water.
that's what it is. That's their water.
They don't drink water.
They drink
I mean, everything, even the poorest family that I was,
That's right.
bringing stuff to in a little Stiebel apartment, nothing. They gave me, a borscht with old 16-day-old cabbage, but they had vodka. Yeah, vodka?
It's all a matter of
vodka. Yeah.
All a matter of priority.
Right, exactly.
Rabbi, will you take an opportunity to tell us about that someday, about what you did with the refuseniks? I don't mean this minute.
I smuggled in Jewish books and clothing to refuseniks and almost got arrested in the Leningrad airport, which is a very funny story now. When it was happening to me with a guy with a machine gun in my face, it was not happening.
That'll happen.
That's the way it goes.
Yep, that's the way it goes. It's the old, you know, it's and I for basically 2 weeks, I dined on people's apartments when they gave me borscht and cabbage borscht, not beet borscht, and chicken Kiev. And I was briefed by the JCRC in Philadelphia. I went over there, Simcha story. It was a long story. Maybe one day over some vodka, I'll tell you a story. Very interesting story. Very interesting story. A long time ago in the 80s, right at the decline of the Soviet Union. It was horrible. But I learned a lot because I saw what people had to go through, and I actually had 2 James Bond moments. And I was told I was being followed and my hotel room was bugged. So I had to be careful of but that was it's not for now because it's already almost game time. And I don't want to take away from service, but it's a very interesting story, especially the Leningrad airport when the guy, that's a very funny story. It's not for Friday night, but he tried to search me because I was carrying something that I was arrested.
Oh my God.
I was detained in a room with no windows and a guy with a machine gun.
Wow.
and a guy, and he had to search me.
That'll put a smile on your face.
Well, it did.
Scary.
And he reached down into my pants.
Oh,
And I turned around to him, and for some reason, I was channeling an old Frank Sinatra song from his Vegas album. And I looked at him, and he spoke broken English. He spoke very good English. And I said, "Whoa, you want to pick out the furniture now?" And he did not get the joke.
put a smile on your face.
And it did put a smile on, and then my little voice inside my head said, "You schmuck, shut the hell up." These people have no sense of humor, and you just want to get on that airplane and get the hell out of Dodge. And it was a very funny 2 weeks. I was supposed to go with somebody, and they backed out. So the JCRC says, "You really want to go there by yourself?" And I said, "Why not?" Who knew? But I did get to the great synagogue in Moscow for Simchas Torah, which was I wanted to do, which was at those days a magnificent celebration. But Shabbat Shalom, because it's 7:00, and
everybody, I will mute everybody now.
Mhm.
And Rabbi and Cantor, please unmute yourselves.
maybe if you're lucky, we'll unmute. If not, okay. Rabbi and Cantor, back again.
You can't keep us muted.
Oh no, are you kidding? I did.
Even with a machine gun. You can't keep us.
I did this unveiling this afternoon for one of my closest friends, Rabbi Johnny Kendall, who died a little over a year ago. And we were at the cemetery at the end. It was freezing cold at the cemetery. And his kids were there, and the 6-year-old grandson leans over to his daughter and says, "We have to go. It's time." And I said, I said goodbye to everybody. And then everybody kept talking. And I leaned over to Asher. I said, "Asher, what you're experiencing now is what we call the Jewish goodbye, which will take anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes. So when you're older, you'll know that when your mom in a group says goodbye, go sit down, have a drink, relax, watch some TV, because you have a ways to go." And believe me, and the adults who were there all said, "Oh, he's absolutely right." Maybe that may not happen in Jacksonville, but trust me, it happens up here. Anyway, Shabbat Shalom. This is another special Shabbat. Is the Shabbat that culminates this year because of the calendar, the end of Passover for the liberal community. If those of you who are traditional, your Passover ends Sunday night at sundown. The Reform movement, the progressive movements follow the Bible, follow the Torah, which has 7 days, not 8 days. And you all know the reason for that is the calendar and all kinds of things. You've probably been taught that a million times. So this Shabbat, we will include some other prayers just briefly tonight, and tomorrow morning we'll offer some additional prayers along with Yisker tomorrow morning at the service, and the blessing for the Omer, because as we started on Sunday night, I think I've lost track of time, when we did Yom HaRishon on the first day of the counting of the Omer. We'll talk a little bit more about that tomorrow. So we're going to ask you all to take up your Shabbat at Home Winter Edition and join with Cantor Barry in the opening melody. And you're what are you choosing, Cantor?
So I had a few different things, and I've been inspired to move us over to page 3.
Ah.
To start with the words of Shalom Aleichem, to welcome the Shabbos angels. But this is the melody that I happen to have in my book this evening, the melody of Tum Balalaika. And as we're talking about Russia and the old country, I said, how could I start any other way?
That's so cool.
So we'll just, as a nigun first, to get the melody into our heads. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hashem, Malachei Elyon, Melech Melech Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem Shalom, Malachei Hashem, Malachei Elyon, Melech Melech Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barachuni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Melech Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seifem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Melech Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tumbalalai, tumbalalai, tumbalaika, tumbalalai, tumbalalai, tumbalaika, tumbalaika, shpilalaika, tumbalaika, freilich soll sein.
So as I mentioned, this is the Erev Shabbat that coincides during Passover. In this calendar year, it's the end. So things all over the Jewish calendar are a little bit conflated. We'll see that again in the Torah portion tomorrow morning. But as you know by now, on each festival, and we'll see this again on Shavuot in the middle of May, there's some additional just meditations that are included in most services. And here's one for the evening of the 7th day of Passover. We remember on this day our crossing of the sea so long ago, when Miriam, Moses, and all the Israelites sang this song to God. Adonai is my strength and song, who has become my deliverance. This is my God whom I will enshrine. So too do we sing out in praise on this day of our redemption. and time reverses its course, today flowing back into yesterday, like a river enclosed at its mouth. Each of us has been a slave in Egypt, soaked straw and clay with sweat, and crossed the sea dry-footed. You too, stranger, this year in fear and shame, next year in virtue and in justice. So a little reading again, the themes of Exodus and the themes of liberation and the themes of justice. And so we'll turn now, Cantor, to page 2 in the prayer booklet and ask you to lead the congregation in the blessing over the Shabbat candles.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher hirshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadliknem v'tzivanu lehadliknem Blessed are you who commands us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
As we talked about before, the mystical tradition of Judaism is a very, very strong and powerful one. If you recall the service we did, I think in January or December, I forget. I'm having enough trouble realizing it's April. But that tradition, which is so rich, and those of you who, as we've talked about before, have been to Tzfat in Israel know of that tradition. And the idea of the Exodus in the wilderness, which has become such an important metaphor for all of our existences, that again comes together tonight. And this idea during this week of Passover, when we're really asked to, by our tradition, to understand our journey, like that prayer that perhaps many of you know, it's one of our favorites in the rabbinate and the cantorate. Birth is a beginning and death is a destination, and life is a sacred journey made stage by stage. And all of us are sharing that journey. All of us are in that pilgrimage in our own sense of searching for meaning. And again, Passover is one of those festivals that in between all the lines talks about this search for meaning. There's a couple of readings that I want to offer you in the middle of instead of some of the liturgy, as we've done the last couple of months, that speak to some of this searching, and especially tomorrow during the Yizkor service. But this mystical tradition, as you know, comes to us at every Friday night or many Friday nights on page 4 with the Lecha Dodi, this reflection of Lurianic Kabbalah. And so on page 4, we'll ask the cantor to lead us in the Lecha Dodi, and it is the Minhag. We'll go right from Lecha Dodi to page 5, the Chatzi Kaddish, and then to page 5 again with the Borchu. And as is the custom, depending on your seating arrangements and where you are at home, if it is your custom to rise either in body or spirit once we finish Chatzi Kaddish, that's the time to do it. So page 4, Cantor Barry, Lecha Dodi.
Can לשכות תפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי, לקראת כלה, פני שבת, פני שבת נקרב. לקראת שבת, לפניך, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מכאן לסוכה. מחשבת תחילה, לכד אותי, לקראת כלה, פני שבת, פני שבת נקרב. התעוררי, 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 אורי אורי, אורי אורי, שתעברי, לכבוד אדוני, עלייך מילה. לכד אותי, לקראת כלה, פני שבת, פני שבת נקרב. אוי ושלום,
After
גם בשמחה, ששונה, תוך אמוני, עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך דודי, לקראת כלה, פני שבת, פני שבת נקרב. לך דודי, לקראת כלה, פני שבת, פני שבת נקרב.
page 5, the Chasi Kaddish.
יקדש מי רבה, ימד יפרח ירצי וימליך מלכותי, ויכון וביום ויכון ובחיי דרכו בית ישראל. בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב ימלאו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולמיה יתברך. יתברך ישתבח יתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילא מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן מימה ויאמרו אמן. Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Vaed Le'olam Vaed Yalalai lai lai 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 Yalalai lai lai.
So on these intermediary prayers, this is, I was looking at some additional material to bring to you just to, again, just to give you some exposure to some of the different things that are being written now across the Jewish community, across the world, prayers, meditations, on a whole variety of issues. And hopefully, you know, I don't have that many Shabbatot left with you, and I just want to bring some of these things to you, and hopefully you'll continue to do some of this next year with Rabbi Glasser. But this is a reading from, again, one of the Alden Salavi books called Jewish Prayers of Hope and Healing. And this is called Life is a Banquet. And it goes like this. Listen carefully to the words, because I think it really speaks to some of the themes that we talk about during Passover and the Seder. It goes like this. God of sacred time, source of sacred space, creator of holiness, divine light of wonder and awe. My vision is clouded, my sight limited. The horizon of this world binds my perceptions. What I see and what I know are tied to my awareness. Heavenly hand of wisdom, guardian of realms above and realms below, you who give understanding and insight, grant me the grace to live my life as a banquet, a river of abundance and blessing that yields food and clothing and shelter that I accept with humility and thanksgiving. Give me the strength and compassion to share these gifts with those in need, to become an instrument of divine bounty. You who provide gifts beyond measure, guide me with your love, teach me with your holiness, show me the path to charity and service, so that I live a life of dignity and honor with reverence for your creation. Blessed are you, God of time and space, providing bounty to be shared. Baruch atah kol hazman hamakom, notein shefa kedei shenashpia ze lazeh. Life is a banquet. It's a beautiful image, if you think of it. Even in this time of isolation and pandemic, because as that meditation I did with you many, many months ago, that this is for many people like us a major inconvenience. But there are people who have no food, have no shelter, have no job still. And so this idea of life is a banquet. And, you know, remember that the table, the Seder table and the table that we eat off of is in the concept in our tradition often viewed as symbolic of the altar in the Holy of Holies. And so that's why we bless it. And that's why there's brachot. So I just wanted to bring you, it's a beautiful image. Life is a banquet. And it carries those themes of justice, remember, and just some of the values that we talk about during the Seder. It's a beautiful image. Life is a banquet, and we celebrate that banquet. On the top of page 7, we rise in body or spirit and join with the cantor in the Shema and leading into the Ve'ahavta.
Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kivon Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzacha hayom halevavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha u'v'lechtecha v'derech u'shochtecha u'v'kumecha u'ksartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayun le'totafot b'neinecha u'chtartam al mezuzot beitecha u'v'isharecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
We'll turn to the top of page 8. I need a volunteer. It's English, so fear not. I don't see any hands, which means I'm going to have to call on somebody. Ah, Karen, way to go. Always count on Karen. Karen, yeah, you read my mind. Brilliant. Tell me the lottery numbers for tomorrow, and I'll be very grateful. But
I have never played the lottery.
neither have I. So, and that's why we are standing on the shores of history and not riding in some luxury condo. Could you lead us in that prayer, leading into the Micha Mocha?
Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before we ever stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to the promised passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
Yeah, that's a good prayer for Ahava Chesed and the tagline of doing things better together, because eventually that's the only way things get done. So this is why this is such a great prayer. The Micha Mocha, which follows those themes on the middle of page 8. Canterbury.
Micha Mocha, Ba'ilim Adonai, Micha Mocha, L'dar ba'kodesh, Nora Tehilo, O Sefer Micha Mocha, Ba'ilim Adonai, Micha Mocha, L'dar ba'kodesh, Nora Tehilo, O Sefer. Who is like you? Who is like אנו ויענו מלכותך ראו פניך חוקי הים לפני משה ומרים זריענו אנו ויענו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד who is like you Adonai, who is like you, who is like you, who is like you, Adonai, who is like you, who is like you, who is like you, who is like you. Adonai, who is like you, who is like you, who is like you, Adonai.
And on page 9, Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'ha'amidenu shomrenu l'chaim ufros alenu sukat shalomecha. Grant, O God, that we lie down tonight in peace and raise us up, our guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us a shelter of peace. Give us a place of rest, O God. Shelter us in the long, soft evening shadows of your truth. You are true protection and safety. In your presence we find love and acceptance. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Ushmor shaitenu voenu. L'chaim u'lishalom me'ata v'yad olam. Baruch atah Adonai ha'porei sukat shalom. Aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim. Amen. The nighttime prayer. Cantor Barry, the Shamru, page 10.
ושמרו, ושמרו לעיני ישראל את השבת, את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין ישראל אותי לעולם. ביני ובין ישראל אותי לעולם. שמרו ושמרו עיני ישראל את השבת, את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו ושמרו עיני ישראל את השבת, את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש. ושמרו ושמרו עיני ישראל את השבת, את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
So in a minute, we're going to go to the tefillah. But before we do, I just want to bring you another meditation. This is my second favorite prayer in the old prayer book, the Gates of Prayer, otherwise known in the trade as the Gates of Blue. Since if you remember those prayer books, they all had different colors, blue and gray and green and red. So we just wound up, a whole bunch of us just saying, yeah, we're going to do the gray, gates of gray. So one of the interesting things about doing services, more so in person than, to be honest with you, on Zoom, is you would walk on the bima, whether it was a Shabbat service or a holiday service, and you look into a congregation and you'd see the faces, but you really never knew, in the most part, what was behind the faces. We never really know what you bring into worship. And it's fascinating. And every colleague, cantor, educator, rabbi has stories about, they'll look on the bima and they'll look out into the congregation and they'll have interacted with somebody during the week, and they know what they're bringing in to that sanctuary. This is a prayer. And for those of you who have the old prayer books, it's on page 333. That really, the reason why I like it so much is because it's 1,000,000% true. And probably there's 45 screens right now at this service, so there's probably between around 55 people in this service. And I will guarantee you that this speaks to many, every single one of us, each in its own way, the words portray. Listen to this. You may remember this prayer. Each of us enters this sanctuary with a different need. Some hearts are filled with gratitude and joy. They are overflowing with the happiness of love and the joy of life. They are eager to confront the day to make the world more fair. They are recovering from illness or have escaped misfortune, and we rejoice with them. Some hearts ache with sorrow. Disappointments weigh heavily upon them, and they have tasted despair. Families have been broken. Loved ones lie on a bed of pain. Death has taken those whom they cherished. May our presence and sympathy bring them comfort. Some hearts are embittered. They have sought answers in vain. Ideals are mocked and betrayed. Life has lost its meaning and its value. May the knowledge that we too are searching restore their hope and give them courage to believe that not all is emptiness. And some spirits hunger. They long for friendship. They crave understanding. They yearn for warmth. May we, in our common need and striving, gain strength from one another as we share our joys, lighten each other's burdens, and pray for the welfare of our community. That is a great meditation. A great meditation, because it's 100% true. And that's why you need community. On page 11, we rise in body or spirit and join with Cantor Barry in the tefillah.
Adonai, Sifatai Tiftahu V'yagir Tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor veHanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot ve'imahot, U'mevii Geula livnei v'neihem, Lema'an Shemo b'ahava, Melech Hozer u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Be'ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol atarav lehoshia, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מחכה חיים וחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה. ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני הקדוש.
Okay. I'd like you to turn to page 14 in these intermediary blessings. One of the themes that comes to us in Passover and really every Shabbat is this idea of gratitude, and that we give thanks in these Thanksgiving blessings during the Amidah for the banquet that we have, not the banquet of food, but the banquet of life. And that's why I love that. I wanted to share with you that image, because the image is really very profound. We have blessings for everything in Judaism, and I mean everything. But we sometimes forget just to take a step and a moment and to just reflect on the blessings that we do have. You know, tomorrow morning we do that section, the Nisim B'chol Yom, which lays out over several pages a whole variety of brachot. But during the Amidah, we have this idea of giving thanks and thanksgiving, which is really gratitude. So on the top of page 14, this, Modim anachnu lach, we give thanks to you. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us, so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth, which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha l'chana elahodot. Blessed are you, Adonai, your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. This idea of giving thanks, which is why we're supposed to wake up every day and say, Modim anachnu. We give thanks, we have another day, which, as we've taught you before, is the parallel, the flip side of the Hashkivenu. But we give thanks for a whole variety of things. And giving thanks also sometimes offers us a challenge. So as I keep telling you, and we'll do this on the whole workshop on this on April 17th at 7:00 when we talk about new rituals. But this is a prayer that just was circulating today on the CCAR, our rabbinic listserv or website with listserv, I think is the right word. It really comes as a project from one of our professors at HUC at our seminary. Andrea Weiss is a brilliant colleague who started a project right after the 2016 election of having a whole bunch of people write letters to the new administration, hoping that this is what they do. And Dr. Weiss has continued this, and there's a letter writing campaign. It's also in a book. And by the way, parenthetically, next year, if you can bring Dr. Weiss as a scholar, she's brilliant. And on this book, you'll really like. So Andrea Weiss and a whole bunch of other people have started this campaign to write to the new administration. And in it is a prayer for our nation. And I'm going to read this to you because this is literally coming out now. was on the CCAR listserv today. I looked at it when I got back from the cemetery. Listen to the words. And again, this is very pertinent, very relevant, very real. It's called A Prayer for Our Nation. And it goes like this. We turn to the light of religious wisdoms to guide us through the darkness. May we move forward with compassion and embodied wisdom. May we build a bridge to a future that reckons with the past but refuses to resemble it. Bring healing and reconciliation while leading the nation forward using your own moral compass. Lead us as a country to live into new dreams with and for each other. Keep your eye out for people who have been quietly doing the work of faith and justice. Empower those who build community across difference. Be encouraged, knowing the people have a mind to work. Be strong and resolute. Act boldly and decisively. Create the conditions for wholeness, justice, and peace for all in our midst. Not bad. Not a bad platform to run on, regardless of your politics. And it's a good way to lead into the Shalom Rav on page 14 with Cantor Barry, page 14.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Hatzim Yolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Hatzim Yolam. Ki etzarut le'achadut lechol hashalom. Ki etzarut le'achadut lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Hatzim Yolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Hatzim Yolam. Tov b'necha levaris et amcha Yisrael. B'chol עת ובכל שעה ישלומך. Shalom Rav Yisrael Hatzim Yolam. 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 Hatzim Yolam. Hatzim Yolam.
And we'll pause for a moment of silent prayer, personal prayer. And if you need a little encouragement to get your prayer started, take a look at page 15. The Cantor has included just some lovely little readings on that page. A few moments for personal prayer.
The top of page 16.
guide my steps and help me find my way. I need your shelter now. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps and help me make this day a song of praise to you. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps. Oh, guide my steps and help me find my way. I need your shelter now. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps and help me make this day a song of praise to you. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps. Guide my steps and help me find my way. I need your shelter now. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps and help me make this day a song of praise to you. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps.
One of the groups of people who we ask, really, as the cantor has chanted, to guide my steps, are those people who take care of people who are ill, both physically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally. And so we come to that moment in our service where we mention those in public and in private who perhaps could use these prayers of healing and the hope for refuat hanefesh and a refuat haguf, a complete and whole healing of body and mind and spirit. And so in that spirit, we mention the following names in this congregational family on this Shabbat: Greg Alexander, Carol Babcock, Donna Berlin, Rosalie Teddy Bono, Cantor Joel Bressler, Dr. David Cassius, Tom Davis, Devorah Bat Rochel, Helene Edwards, Art Fields, Amanda Jeremita, Jim Grant, Mary Hartman, Robert Kay, Mike Latinick, Marilyn Levitt, Teresa Levy, Barbara McDonald, Moshe David Ben-Yetta, Gary Nadler, Naomi Nagel, David Osofsky, Laura Osofsky, Buddy Pollock, Jean Posen, Joyce Racklin, Randall Rout, Sandra Reznikoff, Alex Rosen, Stephanie Sibilia, Ruthie Silver, Ron Sohn, Bernice Tobias, Lois Van Alstine, David Van Alstine, Ruth Van Alstine, Judy Van Gorder. We call to mind all those who have been impacted, as again we saw today in the Capitol, as we're seeing played out on television in Minneapolis, all who have been harmed, hurt by hate and bigotry. Cantor Barry, we have some other names.
We do. We add to our list this evening Sally Constein, Donna Darby, Kathy Schwartz, Evelyn Seltzer-Kahn, Samantha Denmark, Ben Burford, Sarah Mumby, Julie Catania, Lori Carland, Bruce Emanuel, Lisa, and Andrew. Sheila, it's missing the end there. Richard D'Amico, Deborah Gunn, Kathy Winterfield, Nancy Tarr, Joe London, Drew Emanuel, Anne Leo Wagner, Barbara Adams, David Orber, Mike Arnold, Helene Maltese.
To all that we have named publicly, and to all we still hold in the privacy of our hearts and souls, could you please join Cantor Barry in the Mishabera?
May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
So as we prepare to conclude our service with Aleinu, and we'll meet you there on page 18, I wanted to share with you another one of Alden's poems or meditation. The one we did before was called Life is a Banquet. This is called Life is a Ceremony. And I want you to think about this idea as life as a ceremony. We have a professor at the Hebrew Union College, Larry Hoffman. Cantor Barry, in New York, did you study with Dr. Hoffman? Okay.
I did.
Dr. Hoffman is the leading expert in the Jewish world today on liturgy and prayer space and how to organize. And he's a big fan of the idea of a ritual and services and prayer, not as it is in most congregations, rote and fixed, but as choreography. Which is a beautiful image of movement, and even the way seats are put together in a sanctuary, and how a sanctuary is organized. It's a brilliant. He's written tons of stuff on this. He's really brilliant. He's one of these professors that when I had him, he was my thesis advisor for my doctorate, and in one class once he was teaching on something, and it was so brilliant that he actually put down your pen and said, I just want to listen to what he's saying. I don't want to take time out of listening to write notes because it was just so profound. One of those rare moments. So this idea of ceremony is really, I think, akin to choreography, and perhaps even more so in this pandemic, that we perhaps can look not only as life as a banquet, but life as a ceremony, is something to take pride in and to develop and to nourish and to create, as opposed to just going day by day by day, which is so powerful in the pandemic when every day is sometimes like Groundhog Day. So this is a lovely meditation, which will lead into the Aleinu. Life is a ceremony. God of the past, source of the present, creator of the future, divine light of compassion and hope. My time is fleeting. My days are numbered. The course of my life unknown. Where I am and where I'll be is a mystery. Heavenly hand of justice and mercy, keeper of secret truths, you who give purpose and meaning to all things, grant me the grace and vision to live my life as a ceremony, as a river of sacred moments that command my care, that I honor with love and respect. Give me the wisdom to see the spark, the splendor, and the spirit around me, and to choose the path of enthusiasm, energy, gentleness, and peace. You who know all things, guide me with your wisdom. Teach me your laws. Show me your ways so that I live a life of joy and holiness, treating everyone and everything with dignity and with honor in service to your creation. Baruch atah kol hakol, makor chaim v'ahava, shefa v'shalom. Blessed are you, God of all, source of life and love, abundance and peace. The message there is really great. We'll pick it up tomorrow during Yizkor. Our time is fleeting. Our days are numbered. The course of all of our lives is unknown. Where we all are and where we will all be is a mystery. It's great. Think about it. As we chant the Aleinu, we ask you to rise in body or spirit on page 18. And we'll continue standing right through Kaddish, if possible, in body or especially in spirit.
עלינו לשבח לטעון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם כלפינו כרם, וגלר עלינו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא ביום ההוא תהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
There's a meditation before Kaddish, before we read the names and do the prayer. I found this poem. I wanted to share it with you as a meditation before the Kaddish. It's very brief and very beautiful. And I actually used it a couple of hours ago at the unveiling for the stone consecration for the memorial from my buddy, Rabbi Kendall. So listen to the words. I'll offer it to you. It's a very lovely. Oh, here it is. The transforming power of love, the redeeming power of compassion, the healing power of forgiveness. These endure in every age. The joy which comes from sharing, the strength which comes from striving, the nourishment which comes from beauty, these endure in every age. The sanctity of life, the value of truth, the primacy of justice, these endure in every age. The abiding worth of prayer, the purifying promise of repentance, the striving to know God's will, these endure in every age. Grant us, O God, amidst relentless change, the wisdom to know and to cherish these teachings, which endure for all time. Like memory, they endure. As long as people choose to remember, these things endure. So in that sense of love and compassion and memory, we honor the names of those from this congregation for whom we are observing this week of passing of Shiva, Mira Dobrokina, and we await the details for William Shedlin. We observe Shaloshim for Lois Zauler, Howard Enzel, Carol Brody, and we mentioned those names, the anniversary of whose passing is observed in this Shabbat: Alan Ballatin, Marnie Bedenbaugh, Marie Groom Bresson, Elise Diamond, Marshall Friedman, Judge Hugh S. Glickstein, Sylvia Greenhut, Charles Greenstein, Kate Hayflick, Ria Miller Jarkova, Sarah Karp Joseph, Herbert Joseph, William Kaufman, Leo Klein, Ida Kreinberg, Rita Kurland, Milton Irving Rubin, Jacqueline Ann Ruggiero, Louis J. Schall, Herman D. Schiff, Ida Sharman, Ruth R. Siegel, Ann Silverberg, Barbara Cameron Simmons, Julius Singer, Norman Sisiski, Rhea Solomon, Naomi Spector, Daniel R. Houston, Anna Young, Ann B. Zell, and we mentioned one, a great leader in the American Reform movement, actually across the United States of America, perhaps one of the leading scholars of intertestamental Jewish-Christian relations, a professor at the Hebrew Union College, Dr. Rabbi Michael Cook, who passed away very, very sadly the beginning of the week. Cantor Barry, do we have other names?
Yes, we add to our list this evening Irma Michelson and Estella Vick.
To those we have named publicly, and to those who we hold very close to our souls and our hearts in love and in memory, we turn to page 20. And as a congregation, as a community, we ask you to pray together. Yitkadal liyitkadash shemei Rabba, v'yama divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon v'chayeda kol Beit Yisrael, v'agalav izman kari v'imru. Amen. Yehei shemei Rabba mevarach li'olam olamei olamaya yitbarak v'yishtabak v'yitpa'ar v'yitraman v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalo shemei kudisha brichu. Ve'elam min kol berchota v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiram b'yama v'imru. Amen. Yehei shalomo Rabba min Shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Osei shalom b'mramav. Asay shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the one who makes peace grant peace and comfort to all who may be bereaved, as we say together, Amen. Ask you to be seated. And Kathy.
Yes.
Kathy Winterfield, there she is.
Here I am. Shabbat Shalom. Doing the announcements for the board of directors for this week. We continue to worship, learn, and engage with our community on Zoom. Tomorrow, Saturday, April the 3rd, we have our Torah study with Rabbi Address at 9 a.m. Festival morning worship with a brief Yizkor service with Rabbi Address and Canterbury at 10:30. On Monday, April 5th, we have Introduction to Judaism with Rabbi Address at 7 p.m. And Tuesday, April 6th, Wisdom with Rabbi Goodman at 10:30. We have an adult education presents a new program, Difficult Conversations, Crucial Conversations, with Dr. Leslie Kaplan, who's a Temple member, at 7 p.m. Check the Temple times because RSVP is required for that program. We will be returning to our sanctuary for Saturday morning worship beginning April 10th. Yes. Attendance will be restricted and reservations are required. Please check your Temple emails for further information. Save the date. Jaffe is hosting a beach cleanup Saturday, the April 17th, and more details will follow. When you shop Amazon, remember to support Temple at Amazon Smiles. Information is in the Temple Times. Temple events can be found online at our Week at a Glance, the Temple Times, Temple website, and the Messenger. Catch our social media postings on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and check out our YouTube channel at thetemplejacks.org for recorded services and programs. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Thank you, Catherine. Yeah, tomorrow morning Torah study, a little different. We're going to take a little bit of a look at two things. A couple of verses in the Torah portion that it's a sign for the seventh day of Pesach, and then a little conversation about Song of Songs, which is the Megillah, the scroll that's a sign for Passover. And for those of you who've never read the Song of Songs, you're in for a real treat. Why don't you read it before you go to bed tonight? It only 8 chapters. It will give you a profound, let's see the right word here, a profound appreciation for biblical text. How's that? Obviously, some of you have read the Song of Songs. You have a choice when you read it to take it literally, in which case, congratulations, or metaphorically, as the rabbis did, as a love poem between God and Israel. If you don't want to be that literal, hey, that's why we have choices. But Song of Songs is a very interesting book, and it'll be a centerpiece of the Torah service tomorrow, right, Cantor? Yes, I don't want to surprise you, but we did talk about it, right? What from your greatest hits CD? What are you closing with?
Well, we'll make a little. Should we make a little kiddish first? But
what are you going to? Which melody or song are you going to close
later when we're all done?
Yeah. Yes, when we're all done. This is another Jewish goodbye at the end of services. I mean,
I know. I when the rabbi always says, and we begin to conclude our service.
Yeah,
and then there's
that's right.
Half an hour, exactly. So I was thinking we'd close tonight with a little Oseh Shalom, since we went with "Oh Guide My Steps" after silent prayer.
Guide my steps. So a little Oseh Shalom.
Little
You're just going to do Oseh Shalom, and that's it. It's a little bit. And are you doing Kiddush and Motzi, or are we choosing somebody from the volunteer corps?
So I'll be really honest and tell you that I forgot to bring matzah. So if anybody would like to bless their matzah, you're more than welcome to bless our matzah. We'll do a little Kiddush. Would anyone like to lead us in Kiddush tonight? Any big hands? Even Michael.
Don't hold back. Don't hold back. While we're chanting the Kiddush, please, somebody quickly, because some of you are very close to food. Because remember, boys and girls, you're on camera. We see everything that you're doing.
Tom Vick.
I mean everything.
Tom Vick is ready for Kiddush and Motzi this evening.
Does he have matzah? Because I don't. Is he there? I have to go find him on the screen.
He's there. He just has to unmute.
Oh, there. Okay. And the hoods.
I'm unmuting.
Okay.
And I'm
Take it
going
away.
to. I'm going to try to get it as much as. Let's see. Is this in our paper here?
It is at the bottom of page 20.
Huh? What's that?
All right.
20?
20.
At the bottom of 20. All right.
All right. Cantor, take it away with the Kiddush.
Kiddush, I'm fine. Okay. You can hear me and everything.
Go for it.
Somebody chant the Kiddush already.
Here we go. All right. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, b'shavat kodsho, b'ahavat urazon hilianu, zikarom lemasei v'reishit, ki hu yam tehila limikei kodesh, zikor ziat mitzrayim, ki vanu bahara, v'tanu kidashtama, mikol hamim, v'shabbat kocheka, b'ahavat urazon, hilatanu, baruch atah
Adonai,
v'kadesh hashabbat Amen.
Way to go,
Hey, Asher
Tom.
Kah.
Must be the brisket. All right, who's got the matzah?
Got the matzah.
All right, let's go. Baruch.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam.
Motzi
in haaretz.
All right, amen. Al achilat matzah from last week. Go ahead, take a little bite of the matzah because I'm sure you haven't had enough since for a whole week.
Mine was a Freudian forgetting of the matzah.
Well, you know what Freud said about matzah.
Sometimes it's just matzah.
Sorry, sometimes a matzah is just a matzah. You know the same jokes we do, right? Or HUC jokes, right? Quickly, save us.
Here we go, everybody. Oh, say shalom. Bimroma. Oh, say shalom. Bimroma. We are shalom. We are shalom. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. Oh, say shalom. Oh, say shalom. We are May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. Chag Sameach. Just stay healthy. Felice, Felice, what prayer did you ask me about? You're muted, Felice.
Thank you, Rabbi. So many of the ones that you read the English that were so beautiful. A banquet, life is a banquet. And
no, that's from this book by Alvin Salavi called Jewish Prayers for Hope and Healing.
Oh, thank you. I got a couple of, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I got a few of his books, thanks to you, and I'm going to get that one. And then the one with just one of the last ones that said, "My time is fleeting, the days are numbered."
It's the same book.
Wow, thank you. That was just beautiful. Thank you so much for remembering.
Anytime. That's what we're here for. Sell those books for Alden.
Did they mail a check all at one time, or just?
No, they don't. We get paid off in mitzvahs. He's a great guy. And he did a couple of podcasts for me on his books, which if you're interested in him, you should go to the website and listen. He's really a lot of fun. He's a great guy and brilliant. And if he ever comes to the States, because his kids are here about 3 or 4 times a year. And when the pandemic is over, if you can get a hold of him to come to Jacksonville or even do an adult ed on Zoom while he's there, he'll do it from Israel. So because he's doing it for congregations now on Zoom. So it certainly would be worth your while to think about as you put a program together for next year to either bring him in or Zoom him from Yerushalayim. It's really worthwhile. Any Shabbat Shalom.
Wonderful service. Thank you so much.
Shalom, everybody.
Shalom.
Take care. Be well.
Tomorrow morning, be there, be
Shabbat
square.
shalom, everybody.
See you tomorrow morning.
All righty.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom,
Be well,
David.
everybody. Take care.
Be well, everybody.
Shabbat
Thank you,
shalom,
Cantor. Thank you, Rabbi.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
I'll try to get up early tomorrow.
Yes, Jenny, we need you.
I'm working on it. I'm a work in progress.
Oh, the challenge this morning.
Good night, beautiful
Good
people.
night. Take care, everybody. Good night. Be well.
Evening, Janie.
Bye.
Shalom.
Take care. Stay well. Stay.
Good night, Jenny. Good night, Judy, Dina, and Oleg.